get back focused. So the first time I remember meeting you, or not even meeting you yet, I was walking down the halls of the interior, and the assistant secretary at the time, Rhea Sue, um, I felt like I just heard her like, Renee, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, hold up, who is the assistant secretary talking like that to? Like, it was, and you guys gave a hug, and you sat down and have a conversation. I got to listen to you talk, and I'm like, wow, like she, again, you have never lost yourself, but and you can maintain all these relationships with extremely influential people. And so the first question I just want to ask you off the back is how do you do that? So many people believe that you have to lose yourself in order to play at this level, but you've been playing at this level seems like forever, and you've never
I'm not
lost
that old, so forever can't be the right actor. But again, here we're going to go talk about this kind of thing. See, this is what we call microaggressions. Is this supposed to be an educational video that we're doing here? Is this what this is? Are we? You're like, okay, Renee, you're messing up the whole program here. Stop recording. We'll start all over again. All right. I've been at it for a period of time that gives me some experience and knowledge, and ability to identify examples of different strategies that have been used to create more inclusive environments. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes, ma'am. You're so
Okay.
much more articulate than I.
So what do you want to know? How to do this? What is your question? Ask me the question again, please.
How do you go about creating these influential relationships with very senior leaders across sectors while always maintaining yourself, the same person you have always been, this really happy, funny, wonderful person?
Because authentic relationships span role, right? We're people before we're positions, and the trainings that we do and the teachings that we do, in the work that we do. We always talk about unconditional positive regard. I value you for the humanity you bring to bear, that we're not here in judgment of one another. And it's the recognition that we're people first, right? We're humans first before we're a job or a position or a role or an education or a relationship or whatever. We're people first. And if that's the approach that you take to life, then you often will see the best in each person, regardless of the behavior that they're demonstrating. You see a potential. And so that's my orientation in the world. And so it doesn't matter what your role is. The goal for me is to connect on the values and the commonality that we have, and then develop a relationship through that kind of shared sense of values, and a commitment to integrity in the relationship, regardless of whether it's a personal relationship or a business relationship. So the person's role doesn't have anything to do with relationship. I'm fortunate that the people who I have known and worked with and have become acquainted with and networked with are in positions in which they can impact decisions. They themselves may be the decision maker, and the goal is the whole role that I play when I'm brought in as a consultant or contractor or whatever you want to call them, brought in to assist, is to help them be the best of who they can be, leaders, right? Living the values that they espouse and that their institution espouse. And to do so, recognizing there's individual as well as institutional opportunities and ways in which we can hold ourselves accountable for we always be the change you want to see in the world, right? Be the change you want to see, change. We all have that opportunity to be a change agent, right? To impact and influence things. And so when you have relationships with people who are in decision-making authority, it's, for me, it's always about, why are we connected? What are those values? And how do we, again, look at the institutions, the structures, so that they can live those values as well. So I think that's an answer to your question.
Yeah, and I also feel like, one, I agree with everything you said,
Mhm.
and I still feel like so many people are afraid, or
Mhm.
have some sort of fear of
Mhm.
talking to people who are decision makers or who have influence. Um, what would you share with them to help them understand that there shouldn't be a fear there?
You know, in my faith, we say fear is false evidence appearing real. The acronym, right? False evidence appearing real. So whatever you're fearful of, you need to first articulate it, because again, a person is a person, is a job, right? A job. You
Hmm.
know, and if you are approaching them with good intent, not to be judgmental, but good intent to help educate. You know, I believe that we all have an opportunity to give and receive feedback, to be open and receptive, to listen, to understand, not to be understood, right? And so, you know, when approaching individuals, it isn't about them, it's more about you and what you might not be comfortable with or confident about. It's not about them, how they choose to respond to you. They get to respond, but you have at least have to make some interaction,
Yeah.
right? And you know, sometimes maybe it isn't. You know, you might not agree with them, and you want to say something, or you do agree with them and you want to say something. Just take a breath. You know, pop. What's your purpose for the encounter? What outcome do you want? And then what process do you want to use? So you just pop it.
So not like pop and lock, right? I'm only
Not
doing this because it's you on.
say, you just say pop and lock, and I'm thinking you're going to pop the cork and lock the door. Okay. See, we all hear things differently, different perceptions and perspectives. That's how we get around to that whole continuum, you know, that gets us all up into that bias and
Mhm.
all of that kind of stereotyping and assumptions. And
Everyone who's listening to this, I know they're laughing as much as I am.
Hello, everyone. This is Alex Tremble from GPS Leadership Solutions. And if you found this last interview to be awesome, spectacular, and actually you benefited from it, let me tell you, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Visit the alextrembleshow.com, information below in the description, and that's where you'll find the full uninterrupted interview. And I'm telling you, there's so much great content you'll hear from this past leader, as well as all the other leaders we've already interviewed. So remember, don't just look back, reach back. If there's someone who you think will benefit from this interview or any of the other interviews, make sure you share it with them. Click the like, click the subscribe, and as I always like to end all my sessions, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving.